If you're a service business owner and you're struggling with Google Ads, this is the video for you. Today we're talking about Performance Max campaigns. These are Google's AI campaigns that work to get you phone calls and leads. And a lot of people say these just don't work. Well, you haven't seen what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you a campaign that generates tons of calls and leads. But the secret is you have to set it up the right way. Today, I'm going to give you a checklist for all the things you need to do to run a successful Performance Max campaign. Then I'm going to log into a client account and I'm going to show you all the settings that are set up the right way. Got a lot to cover, so stick around and let's get your Performance Max campaigns generating phone calls and lots of leads. If you're ready, let's dig in and talk about PMax. My name is Matt Law and I've been doing Google Ads for a long time, actually since 2001. And there have been a ton of changes over the years. But here's what I want to tell you. PMax is a very smart option if you want to generate exposure, phone calls, and leads. And we have a lot of campaigns that generate way more calls at a much lower cost, way more leads at a much lower cost than search campaigns. But here's the secret. You have to set things up the right way. But before you just listen to me, I want to give you a couple of case studies and screenshots. Then we're going to log into one of these accounts in a few minutes. But I just want to show you that I do know what I'm talking about a little bit. So let's look at the screen here. So here you could see a campaign, and this is dated from August 1st through the 31st. This is actually all of their campaigns, but I got some arrows pointed down to the two PMax campaigns. You can see they generated 69 calls on one and then 9 calls on the other. And then if you look at the other conversions on the right, there are also form fills, which are quote requests on the client's website. There's calls through CallRail, and then there's even driving directions for the local campaign. So we have two PMax campaigns set up. They have different goals. The leads is the goal for that one is to generate phone calls or form fills, which you can see a little bit right about 115 on those campaigns. And then on the local campaign, it's to get sponsored placements in the map section. You can see that still generated phone calls, but its goals is phone calls and driving directions. So you can see what they spent, but here's a question, and think about this. If you're a service business owner and you have pretty good size ticket items, would you spend $4,500 to get 78 phone calls? And then there's more phone calls than just that, another 95 lead actions, which are people filling out a quote request, scheduling on the client's website, or getting driving directions to their location. I will tell you that the ROI for this flooring company is super, super strong. Let's look at another example. And this is for a lot of dates. You could actually see it starts in right around 2022. And they spent $16,000 on this campaign. But for that $16,000, they have generated 390 phone calls. But there's 981 other conversions, which are form fills on their website and people that have got driving directions to their location. And lastly, there's also calls in there as well through CallRail. So you could see lots of money spent, but it's only $16 for a conversion. If your product, if you're bringing in maybe $5,000, $6,000 for one of your services, and it could even be more when you consider the lifetime value of the customer, more than likely, you could do this and get a really strong return on investment. Let's cut to the chase though, because here's what you're saying and what you know. Performance Max campaign can be brutal. More than likely, you've tried it and then you turned it off, but then you see guys like me saying, hey, they're great. So you try it again. The calls aren't working. It's not working the right way. You answer the phone. It's for the wrong company. It's a lot of spam clicks, spam form fills, and that's probably why you're watching. Well, just let me say I have a love-hate relationship with Google and Performance Max. but it does work if you set it up the right way. And that's what this video is all about. So here's what you need to know. Performance Max is across all of Google's channels. It goes onto YouTube, Google's content network. It's in the search area. It's in Maps. It's also in Gmail. It's called Performance Max because it's Google's AI algorithm to find your customers and connect you with them. So if you set it up the wrong way, it won't work. If you don't give it enough time to mature, it won't work. If you don't feed it the right data, it won't work. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 10 slides of training. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you an account set up the right way, and I'll walk you through that. My suggestion is that you kind of go through the training, maybe make some notes, maybe take some screenshots or something like that, and then update your Performance Max campaign based upon what I'm sharing. And then you can follow along with me in the tutorial I provide at the end of the video. I want to remind you, I can't go through everything in our short video, but if you're interested in the complete formula for how we have grown companies by more than 400%, I want to offer you a free copy of the Service Business Marketing Blueprint. You can get a copy of this in the description. Also have some other free resources for you as well. This book's available on audio and on Kindle. It's all for free in our download section on our website, so you can grab a copy of those if you want to learn more about how to grow your business. That said, let's jump into the training and let's start with the basics. So the first thing you need to do is you got to pick the right objective. Most of the time it's going to be leads. We set up 2 campaigns, one for local and one for leads, almost for all of our clients. Just to remind you, name your campaigns really clearly. For example, it's a PMax campaign. What is the goal? Calls, or you may say local. And then if you have multiple areas you're targeting, just give you an example like, Atlanta. We don't want people showing up for at our locations, obviously our clients, but to do the local leads and you do driving directions, it'll show them in the map section, which is where you're going to get a lot of calls. Most people really don't want driving directions, but they're looking for like plumbers near me, roofing companies near me. So that's why it's very, very helpful to do it there. So let's keep going. So budget and bidding. So I encourage you to set up a daily budget. Your budget should be about 3 to 5 times what your CPA goal. So let's say you're trying to get leads for 20 bucks. I would suggest making your daily budget $60 to $100. It's important to note that you are going to lose money in the beginning. It's not going to work right in the beginning, but it will eventually iron out the more data that Google has. So you want to do maximize conversion. You don't need to do ROAS or CPA until you have at least 30 conversions and you have a better idea of what your conversions are going to cost. The other thing that I would tell you is make sure you have your conversions and tracking set up. This is called goals. So if you don't have your goals set up, most of the time you will go back and do that. We use CallRail for call tracking and we integrate that. It costs about 50 bucks a month, but by integrating that, you can actually have a conversion goal. If someone clicks over to your website and then they call, that is also a conversion goal. Enhanced conversions, if you have that set up, you don't have to do that for this campaign. I have lots of clients that don't use enhanced conversions that do great. And make sure you have, the Google Tag Manager installed or the tags installed directly on the site. For the URL settings, you want to turn off URL expansion. All right, so you don't want to serve every page on your website. Most of our clients have lots of blog posts and lots of content on their site, and we don't want Google serving up ads going to weird blog posts on the page. If you are going to give the entire site, you can also specify URLs you want to use. And you'll see this in the settings in a minute, is that you don't want to basically just let Google serve everything on your website. When you go through the assets, you want to get your business name, your logos, you want to have the images, square, landscape, portrait. You can add a YouTube video, and you can also build a couple Google auto-generated ones and store those on YouTube. Few headlines, long headlines, descriptions, call to actions, and all of that. We'll go through that and show you that. You basically want to go through everything until your ad says, hey, looks good. You want to get it as close to excellent as possible. You can also add signals and keywords, and I'll show you this in a second. You want to add custom segments, like what is their intent? You can also add demographics like income earners, if you're targeting homeowners, things like that. Age, if you want to target just men or just women. You can also add exclusions. So one thing you can add as an exclusion is all of your customers and anyone who's already visited your website. They will not be served the Performance Max. If your goal is to drive calls, you don't want to drive calls from people that are already working with you. You want to drive calls from new people. Next up is a location and language. Of course, you're going to put in your target zip codes or radius or the cities. Should be English set up. Sometimes Google will still show your ad in Spanish. And then this is important, and you'll see this setting, you have to use presence targeting, not interest. You don't want people that are interested in your area. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of clicks from India or people outside of your area. They got to be in that. So that's an important setting. You're also going to go and you're going to add up all the extensions, your calls, site links, call out snippets, promotions. Promotions you don't have to use, but sometimes our clients will do that. And then if you have an address on your Google My Business profile and you're not just working at a radius, you want to enable that local extension. Lastly, next to lastly, negative keywords. So you want to add anyone looking for jobs or competitors. You can also exclude placements. I'll show you this in a second, which we exclude all apps. We also exclude our company name for all of our clients so that people aren't calling them when they're looking for that name. And then you can also exclude converted users in an audience list. We basically just exclude anyone who has been to the website. When you launch it, it's not going to make money right away. Just keep that in mind. You got to run it a couple of weeks before making major edits. You got to review conversions, look into the asset performance and the themes and change all of that. Use the Insights tab for optimization and update your assets, monthly or quarterly. So what I want to do now is I am going to log into one of our clients' accounts. I got it open on the screen next to me. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go through their performance campaign. I'm going to block out their information. My picture is going to be over that, so you won't see that to keep their information private. But I want to do is I want to show you this campaign that's been running since July 1st of 2022 through 2025. This is about 3 years of data, and we're going to kind of look through that information. So let's look at this together. So here you could see the Performance Max campaign. It has just been running steadily. We've tried a few different things, but you could see this baby has just been pretty much on autopilot. They spend about $50 a day is what we set for the budget. Today I did go in, and you could see the optimization score is at 100%. Don't get hung up on the optimization score. And I will zoom in a little bit more. Don't get caught up in, I got to have the optimization score right. And the reason is because Google will sometimes recommend stuff that you don't need to do. But you could see over here, 18,000 clicks, to over 2 million impressions, the click-through rate. They've spent $15,000, 390 phone calls. And by the way, if you want to see how to get phone calls on it, you can edit that in the columns. Maximize conversions. And then we've got 922 other conversions. For them, their other conversions are driving directions, form fills, or people that call them through their call rail number. And so you could see an average cost per conversion is $16. For this company, they can have products and services that range from anywhere from 4 to 12, 15, some even higher. $30,000. And so this is a very good return on investment, which is why Performance Max works for a lot of service businesses. I want to go through the settings. I'm going to walk you through that. I just call this local campaign. It's really a lead and a local campaign, but you get the idea there. So let's go through some of these settings, and I'll just kind of break them down. So here's the name of the campaign, which you can change. Enabled or unenabled. You don't need to worry about merchant and comparisons, shopping, and any of the store locations. So they only have one location that they use, so you don't have to do location groups. Usually when you turn on your location, it's going to just say use all locations, which is fine. There's no dynamic ad feeds here, so you don't have to worry about any of this for a service business. For a budget, I've got $50 a day. And then here are our campaign specific goals. And you can see we want people that submit lead forms, people that call us, or if they get directions to that. So those are our campaign goals. and we are maximizing conversion. We did not set a return or anything like that. We don't have our customers uploaded, so we aren't worried about new customers. You'll see in our audience that we are saying, hey, if someone's been to the website and they're in our website user list, don't show them the ad. So that would keep customers out of that as well. And so you're not worried about any of that or the value rules here. This is the location that it is running. And so I'm very specific on where we're running to. And then over here, this is hidden by Google. And so you got to be very careful to click on this. This is the button you want to have. If you use this one, presence or interests in, you're going to get clicks from India and all over the place. It's got to be people in your location. You can see English is on. Of course, this isn't a political ad, no end date. And then this is another one that is really important. So we allow text customization so they can change our ads around. We're going to let them do what they want to help us get clicks. But we turn off final URL expansion so they're not going to all these different blog pages. For this client, as part of their SEO, they have like 100 and something pages on blogs that were built for SEO content for specific cities. I don't want them going to those blog pages. Those are built for SEO. I'd rather them go to their homepage. I do allow enhancements on the videos and all of that. They can do whatever they want on those, and that's all fine and good. I do have tracking set up on here. So this is the UTM source. If you watch any of our other videos, I teach you how to track that data and put it into your database. So we have that set up. I don't have any page feeds set up because I really just want people mostly going to the homepage because they've got all of their services there. I did turn off TV screens. Basically, those people can't really make phone calls as easy, and they are also not able to fill out forms. So I'm sticking to computers, mobiles, and tablets. Don't have a brand list excluded. I do have names excluded in another section. You can see that we are excluding young people that may not have the money, and we're not worried about any third-party measurement. So watch the video again if you want to go back through those, but I want to keep going through here because this is a lot to cover. So this is the campaign settings. Again, you can see it's generated the phone calls and a great conversion rate, plus these. We're going to go through and I want to show you the asset groups. And so if you see it in a table view, it's not as easy. So you want to go ahead and click over the summary view. And I'll go ahead and I'll just look at, first of all, we'll look at some of the ad data and just I'll do a quick preview for those to show you. Then we're going to look at the signals and I'll let you kind of see. But if I go to like the preview ads, this will be pretty helpful. You'll see the different types over here. You're going to have like the local maps. You've got all of the different ads that they're showing here, and you can kind of see on YouTube, display. So there's an aluminum company, how it would look in the maps, Gmail. It kind of gives you a good idea for how everything is going to look. So I won't go into all of this just yet. Let's go into the signals. Let's go ahead and edit the assets, and I'll show you this. So here you can see we've got the URL. Ad strength is good. It's just because I don't have more videos on there. But all of these is strong. We got videos. We got a ton of images on there. We've got the logo. We got site links. And so we've got site links, all their different services. You could add more. We've got visit call to action, promotions. I do not have prices, messages. We aren't doing the messages. We want phone calls. We got some structured snippets on the account that we've added, and these are on the account level. So if you go back to the account level, you can do that. But I also have account level callouts, and here you can see the account level location, which has their address. Not worried about display path because I don't have anything set up. And I don't have the tracking template set up here because it's already on the campaign. So overall, you can see it's set up well, but it doesn't have everything done. But here's something that's really, really helpful. We'll look at the signals. This is who you are targeting. And so these are keywords that people are looking for: motorized screens, gutters, pool enclosures. Again, you would put your services here. And then who do we want to target and who do we want to ignore? And I'll just click edit right here. So we're calling it the PMax audience. They're in the market for home improvement. And again, this isn't with PMax, it's kind of like a suggestion, like, hey, these are some tips of what these people may be looking for. So it's all the people that are looking through this, screens and stuff like that, home improvements. The demographics are 35 and up, right? And then you can do additional demographics. And then I do have in here higher income earners, which would be helpful for that. Of course, you can add into here homeowners, homeownership, something like that. It'll probably show up recently moved. Let me type this in. They're moving soon. Recently moved is a good one. So I'll go ahead and add that. Renovating home, home renovation. So you can add those in here, and then you'll start to see data in here as you go. I figured I'd show you that as well. So I'll go ahead and click save. So that's helping Google know of what to kind of look for. So you see the setup, you say, well, Matt, my setup's probably better. Great. I'm just showing you this is how it's set up and this is what works, but it didn't start off like this. It takes time for Google to figure out exactly what is working. So you can see I've got that all set up. I'll save those changes. And so in here, I've got my assets, my audience, all of that. Over here, if you go over to the goals, and I'll just quickly show you the goals. On the goals, here's what we have. You could see lead. This is from the website. This is people filling out a form on the website. And then we have 2 phone calls. So we have calls from ads, right? Which is our internal, a call from an ad. And then you have click to call over here, which we also set up as a conversion. When people are on the website, that counts as another contact. And then we have another one called phone call, which this one here is through CallRail. So if they call through CallRail, it passes on that data over there, and you can see the number of conversions there. So calls from ads, these are people clicking on the ad button. These are people doing click to call on the website. These are people doing phone calls, and we don't have this set up as a conversion on every website or every campaign, but some of them. And then you can see the local directions as well. So you just got to make sure you have your campaign goals set up, and then you can make sure everything is done the right way. So I went through a ton of data with you and a lot of information really fast. I hope that you found it helpful. Performance Max is just one of the Google campaigns that you should use. So we also use YouTube remarketing so that when people visit the site, they're going to see our YouTube videos. We do content remarketing for people that are that have hit the website and are part of that. You can do customer remarketing. We always do search campaigns, but again, it seems like it's getting more and more expensive for that search, and Google's throwing in more keywords. So PMax has been very, very effective for our clients. Listen, if you found this video helpful and informative, I would really, really appreciate it if you hit that like button and you subscribe. Every week we make a couple of videos to help you. I also have a 4-part training series that you can watch on our channel that goes through over 2 hours of the complete marketing formula we use to grow clients by over 400%. And if you're interested, you can go into the description and grab a free copy of our book. It's 100 pages, no fluff, no hype, of how we've grown service businesses by more than 400% using our formula for growth.